Hello, hello everyone. Welcome to our Thursday night, our Cakery Creator Circle live crafting event. I'm going to pull you up in my phone over here and turn the volume down so that I can see your comments. So let me find you. Okay, yep, here we are. Let me get in here. And let me turn the volume down too. Okay, cool. All right, welcome. I'm so happy you are here. Just say hello in the comments and also let me know where you're watching from. I always love seeing old friends and making new friends as well. So, okay, so if you did not catch Eileen with Creative Eye Designs by Eileen, she came on before me at 7 p.m. and she did the start of a poison apple cake. So, so you can go back and watch her on replay. And then she's actually going to be finishing it up next week. So so you kind of get a sneak peek of what it's going to look like tonight, and then you'll get to see the finished product next week. So anyway, that's exciting. And then after me, I'll be on I'm from 8 to 9 tonight. We switched up our times. So I was doing 7 and now I'm doing 8. And then Mary from Hog Wild Designs will be coming up after me at 9 p.m. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Janae. Welcome. Okay, so funny, Eileen, if you're watching. You did poison apples, and I was seriously thinking like that's what I was planning on doing tonight. I was going to do like the black with some purple on a green apple. Hey Joe, welcome. And then so I was kind of like had started it and wasn't really sure, and then I saw yours. You came on and you started the poison apples, and I was like, put the brakes on, let's switch gears. So anyway, so I decided, since we did the strawberry shortcake with the biscuits, which are doing really well. For those of you that don't know, I did create a whole biscuit mold and then 2 halves. And they're both in my Etsy shop. And they are, I would say they're selling out like hotcakes, but they're biscuits. But this mama is butter and biscuits every morning. Let's just say that. And then, so not so much butter and biscuits, but I am making biscuit molds like every single day. So anyway, so I thought, well then, why not go ahead, since I'm not doing poison apple tonight, let's make another biscuit using the halves. And then this time I thought I'd do peach. So we are definitely going to do peach. Hi, Margarita. Hi, Kelly. Oh, Kelly says it's her first time watching. Yay. Welcome in. Hey, Jill. So glad to see you here as well. Okay, so to get started, what you're going to need, okay, so I'm using a plate. Let me add our extra camera so I can hold things up for you. And then that way I can show you. So, all right, there you go. All right, cool. So I have some things in process. Let me move my mouse to a safer spot. Don't need to get stuff on it. So anyway, so I'm actually attaching it to a plate. You could use any plate that you wanted. I decided that I'm going to use, I was going to say Magnolia. This is not Magnolia. This is Pioneer Woman. And it's a little, I think these are like maybe 5 inches across. I don't have my tape measure. Oh, wait. Nah, I can't measure that way. I think they're 5 inches, maybe 6 inches. But anyway, they're ceramic. They're not plastic. So I decided, because it's going to be peaches, that I thought the blue, the tealy blue and the peach would look good together. So anyway, so I'm using that a little. So any plate will do. If you do want to go with the Pioneer Woman plates, I did get these at Walmart. Okay. And then I'm using my biscuit mold. So this is what it looks like. It comes in 2 pieces, and so you'll get the top half of the biscuit and then the bottom half as a set. Like the half biscuits come in a set, so you'll get both of them. And then the other whole biscuit, if you want to do a whole biscuit, I do sell those as well. So, hey, Eileen. Oh, yay. Kim says she got her biscuit mold today. Yay. Yeah, Eileen, if you could put me in the group, that'd be great. I forgot to do that when I clicked on. So yeah, that'd be great if you could. Hey, Martina, welcome. Okay, so you're going to need a biscuit mold, and then I've already got my 2 biscuit molds. Like, we're going to do a base color, and then we're going to do like a shading part of it. Here, I'll show you my strawberry one that's finished. So it looks like this. I mainly got it out just to show you the biscuit because we're going to be coloring our biscuits. But anyway, so this one is attached to a plastic plate with strawberries. Actually, these are in my Etsy shop. But anyway, so this one is a strawberry shortcake biscuit, and I'm not calling this one a strawberry shortcake. I'm just doing like a peach biscuit. I think I just said feeling peachy. So, so anyway, so we'll need the biscuit. And then to fill your biscuit, you can use plaster of Paris. And most of you all know I love perfect plaster better. So when I say plaster of Paris, for me, I'm actually using perfect plaster. I just find it so much more forgiving. So anyway, I typically will make my biscuits out of plaster of Paris, or I will use the 10-minute resin. Tonight, we're going to be using the 10-minute resin. And the reason for that is because when I make my molds, that's what I use for the base of my mold, and I'm getting so many orders, I need more. So anyway, so I have 2 of these started. The colors for my base color that I'm using is any white. I'm going to use 3 colors to get the biscuit shade, like the base shade for my biscuit. I'm using Americana in the white. This is Snow White. You could use any color white. And then I'm using the Delta Cream Coat in the Antique White. And then I'm also going to use the Folk Art in the Hazy Moon. So these are the 3 colors that I'm mixing up. And then we're going to, I do 2 coats on my biscuits. So I've already got like the 2 coats on this, but I'm going to add a second coat with you all, just so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, and then the shading I'm using is the Folk Art in the Gilded Oak, which looks like this. So yeah. Okay, let me check our things really quick. Hey, Cindy, welcome, welcome. I didn't see you. You popped in while I was talking. So, okay, cool. I just want to check. So, yay. Okay, so if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. But let me know in the comments where you're from. I always love knowing that. So, I'm in Ohio, and we're on the southern part. We're near the tri-state of Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. Like I'm very close to those other states, the borders of those states. Okay, so that was for our biscuits. If you're, okay, so for my biscuit molds, I'm going to use the 10-minute resin, so you'll see me use that. And for mine, they're 6 ounces each. So whichever, like whatever you put in it, that's how much it would, how much mixture you would need to fill up to make a biscuit. Okay, and then I am doing peach, like we're doing peaches instead of strawberries. Oh, she's from St. Louis, Missouri, Cindy says. Welcome, welcome. So I'm doing peaches, and so I bought these on Amazon, and I'll post the link for you guys if you want, but they just look like this. They're plastic, and they're just whole sliced peaches. So yeah, hey Robin, welcome, welcome. She's from Tennessee, Frosted Flakes, welcome, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to use the peaches. We're also going to use clear silicone. So I have a new one I'm going to open. So we're going to use this. Any clear silicone will work. As long as it's paint, you want to get one that's paintable. So don't pick up one that says, you know, non-paintable, because we're going to be adding some resin colorant, some dye to it. And if it doesn't take paint, then it won't take the colors. So you definitely need one like that. Okay, and then I'm using a resin, epoxy resin pigment. This is the brand I'm using. You can use any brand that you want. For this brand, I'm going to mix colors as well. For all of you that are new to me, I love whatever I make. I love doing research and development. So my R&D is like #1 to me. And so I always, before I make something, I always make the real thing, or I'll purchase the real thing. And then I'm able to play around with color and then color match so that it matches the real thing. Because my passion is making realistic looking fake food. We do some whimsical things not very often, but you know, every often, you know, occasionally we'll say, like I do. Okay, so for the peach, we're going to be doing like a peach filling that's kind of like a peach pie filling. And for that, I'm using gold and yellow and orange out of this kit. So depending on what colors, like if you make this and you have a different like pigments, just play around with your colors, because your colors may not be the same shades as mine. And so you may not need the same amount or the same color combinations to get the color that you're looking for. Okay, and then I'm using Mod Podge in the matte. And then also, Okay, so for my peach filling, I'm not going to cut up my peaches. So for any of you that have watched me or you know I've made jams before, and I made a peach jam, and I cut up the peaches and put in the jam itself. This time, I'm not doing that. We're going to leave the peaches whole because we're putting them on the plate, and I really want to see the whole peaches. However, I did grab, I think it's pronounced calendula petals, the flower. And I got these. I'll show it to you this way. I've already opened them. So normally the tag is on the top, but I've already opened them. But these are I got these at Hobby Lobby, and these are in with like the soap and candle making section. And they're just dried petals, like flower petals. And so I really liked the color of them. And so I decided instead of cutting up my peaches for this one, because I didn't want to make like a peach shortcake. So we're not doing the whipped cream on this. Instead, I am going to drizzle some resin to give it more of an icing look to it. And then I'm also using, I grabbed one of my cinnamon mixtures. And so this one has sand, brown sand, cinnamon, instant caramel that's a coffee nut flavor, and then fake nuts. So it looks like this. So I'm going to put this, sprinkle a little bit of this, a little bit of this. That sounded funny. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of this on it as well. So, okay, I think that's everything. Oh, I did grab rubbing alcohol. So whenever you're working with like silicone, if you want to thin it down, you can add alcohol, rubbing alcohol, but you need to add it like whenever you make your mixture up, just before you use the mixture, then you would thin it down. The alcohol will not change the way it cures. What it does is it will thin it down, but the alcohol will evaporate very quickly. So it's nice because you can thin it down to get a thinner consistency, but then you have to use it right away because it's going to evaporate and turn thick again. So, okay, I think we can get started. I could not find my 1 in a melon cup from Rae Dunn, but I found my Feeling Peachy mug, so I thought that was appropriate for tonight's tutorial. So anyway, I'm going to just take a sip of my hot water, and then we'll get started. So if you all have any questions, just let me know in the comments. I am more than happy to answer. Okay, so let me move. I'm just going to scooch it over to here just to keep it near. All right, and then let me grab some gloves as well. Whenever I'm using resins, I always wear gloves just to protect my hands. I'm not sensitive to where I need to wear a mask, but for any of you that are, when you're using like either the resins, because it's an AB formula, and once you put them together, like they're going to create a chemical reaction. So if you're sensitive to that, then I would definitely, you could wear a mask. Also, I'm doing the silicone. This particular brand does not have like a very strong offensive odor to it. However, I have used some that do, like some that were. The ones that were very like offensive, like that's the best way I can tell you. Just really strong and like really powerful. We have 11-foot ceilings in this room, and then we do have ventilation happening here. So for me, I do have the ventilation. However, you definitely want to make sure when you're working with silicone and things like that, or even the resin, that you're in a space that you do have some airflow and some ventilation, just because, you don't want it to affect you in a bad or a negative way. So, okay, so I'm going to grab my tray, and then these are my biscuits that I've already started on. So I'm going to scooch them out of the way. We'll just stick them back over to there. Okay, and then I'm just going to mix this up, and actually I'm going to scooch these. So I'm going to use, grab my little measuring cups, and I'm going to grab a spoon. There we go. Okay, so for my resin, I have 2 different resins. I brought both of them in my studio tonight because I wasn't sure how much was in either of the boxes because I've been using it a lot lately. So I grabbed both, but I'll show you both, and I use both of them. So, okay, so my first one I'm going to use is by Fast Cast. Let me see. Yeah, this one's open, and I'll hold this up for you. So I have 2. I'll show you both of them. Okay, so I use this one, the Fast Cast 10-minute resin. I always try to get it so I'm not too crookedy for you. Okay, so I use this one. This is a 10-minute white resin, fast cast. And then I also use the Alumilite on the amazing casting resin that looks like this. Your box could look different. I've purchased in-store and I've ordered online, and it was the same product, but had different packaging. So it could be a little different. Okay, so for these, I'm going to start with the fast cast. Okay, and like I said, my molds, I know they're 6 ounces, so I'm going to add 3 of A and 3 of B. So let me just get this in here. And I'm going to make them like one at a time. Make sure. Okay. So how are you guys doing tonight? Happy Thursday. Happy officially first day of summer. If you are in the craft world or the wreath world or the fake bake world, you all know most everyone who is who creates or who makes and sells, like they're already doing Halloween and Christmas, even though it's first day of summer. But anyway, so I just thought, I've got my background behind me. I just switched it out from the Patriotic. Let me check my thing. Okay, we look good. I switched it out from Patriotic, and I'm not quite finished filling it up behind me. You can kind of see I have a lot of watermelon happening up here, which all of them turned out really cute. I'm really happy with the way that my cake turned out, and I'm also really happy with the cookies, the watermelon cookies. And then I also did watermelon sorbet, and those turned out really cute. So I'm loving the start of my watermelon collection. I know I told everybody, I think I'm only going to do 3 things, but I don't know. Could come up with another one here or there. Okay, so this is 6 ounces, and then I'm just going to stir to combine it, and then I'm going to pour it right into my mold. And I'm using the little trays, so that way I can just move it off my table, and it won't be in my way, and then I won't have to worry about, like, I won't be, disturbing it. Okay, I'm going to pour the first one in here. And, oh, I think I did too much. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm taking some out, and then I'm going to pour it in here. Okay. So I did, I'm spilling it everywhere. Okay. So I did mix up enough for both of them. I was only going to do one at a time. Okay. And now it's all over my mold. Hang on. Okay, and what I always tell you, and I did not listen to, is that I always have an extra mold handy. We're going to do a Pop-Tart, the start of it anyway. I always have a mold handy, so that way I'm not wasting my resin. So I'm just going to pour it in this mold, and it will start up my Pop-Tart. This is a Pop-Tart mold. I wasn't planning on it because I like to do the colored icing, but I don't like to waste my resin. All right. So I'm going to take a little bit more out of this mold and put it in this mold. Okay. And I got it all over the top. All right. Well, you know what? Crafters are messy. I never said I wasn't. Okay. So anyway, these will set up. Get rid of that. I like to use all of it. These will set up, and then it says 10-minute resin. So really, once you mix it up, you only have a couple minutes before you need to pour it. I'm sorry, I'm going to set this over here so I can throw that away. So even though it says 10-minute resin, it's like you only have a couple minutes from the time you combine them. Like I always tell you guys, the clock starts ticking, and then you need to get it poured like into your mold or wherever you're going to use it, like put it on top of that. So anyway, I don't know where my brain was, but I thought that I was going to do one at a time. And then I realized that I went ahead and mixed up the full thing and did them both at the same time, which is totally fine. Okay, so then these will set up. You can see they've already started to turn white. And even though I got some extra resin on the top, it's not going to hurt anything. When I go to demold it, it won't stick to the actual biscuit. It'll just be on top of the mold. Okay, and then for this, I just ended up pouring. I have a Pop-Tart mold that I made, so I just poured it in there. So I'm going to move this off here. I don't want to mess with it too much. It needs to set flat. Okay, so we're going to let that set up, and then the next thing we're going to do is, oh, I don't need the plate yet. And do I need, yeah, I'm going to use, well, I need different gloves. I have resin on these. I don't want these. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let me grab a different one. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I do have a base coat of those, and I'm going to grab my scale, and we're going to mix up the icing. No, I'm sorry, the paint base color for the biscuits, not icing. Okay, so for that, I'm just going to use a little cup. I don't need much right now. And then I'm going to do 0.3 of the white. So let me get this on here. I'm just using my scale. So whenever you do this, you want to make sure you zero out your scale before you put your container on it. Just so that way it doesn't count the weight of the little container if you're trying to get exact measurements. Okay, and one more, 3. Okay, so I've got 3 of the white. Again, I'm using the Americana in the Snow White. Sorry. And then for the next one, I'm using the Cream Coat by Delta, and that's 0.2 for this one. Now, if you have a shade that you like, you don't have to mix your colors. I just like mixing colors, like I just do. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then the last one I'm using is the Folk Art in the Hazy Moon, which looks like this. Sorry, I'm out of the camera. And then just 0.1 of that. So I end up with 0.6. So it's enough to coat my biscuits, the 4 biscuits. The 6 ounces is plenty for that. Let me shake this. It doesn't. It's brand new and don't want to come out. Okay, there we go. There we go. And one more. Okay, and that's 0.6. All right, and then we'll move this out of the way. And then I'm going to we'll just grab a paintbrush. Yeah, I'll just use this one. Okay, and then I'll put these back on. So one of them is ready to go, and we're just going to do shading, but I wanted to mix this up just to show you. And then I'm going to coat the first biscuit a second time, and then the other one is coated. It's just not shaded. It's coated twice, but not shaded. So let me grab another piece of parchment. Okay. And then, so the one closest to me, I need to do, and then the other one is ready. All right. So I'm just going to use my paintbrush and combine this 3 colors together. And then the color you get is a really like an off-white. Again, if you don't want to mix your colors, if you're making this, you don't have to. I just share with you what works for me, and you know, get creative. Like you don't have to do it exactly the way I'm doing it. Like I want you to put your spin on it. So, but anyway, if you did want to do what I'm doing, I like to share the recipes so that you can. So, okay. So this is coated pretty good. Paintbrush, I stuck it in there pretty far to get it coated. Okay, and then I just use my gloves, and then I just go over the whole thing. And then let it dry. Okay. I did bring out my heat gun in case when I do the shading, in case I need to dry it, because we're going to coat it with Mod Podge in the mat to seal it. Okay. I got an itch on my face. Okay. So anyway, so I'm just going over the whole thing, and then I'll let it dry. Okay. All right. And we'll do this one. This one has like a lot of nooks and crannies. So for those of you that are new to me, when I first made the biscuit molds, I made several batches of biscuits, homemade biscuits. and then chose the ones that I felt I liked the best. So I ended up with a buttermilk biscuit. And so this is a replica of an actual buttermilk biscuit. I did one, I took the biscuit and then I cut it in half. And then I made molds out of the two halves. And then I have another biscuit that I left whole. And then I made a mold out of it. So anyway, so these are realistic in size and shape and the whole look of it, because it was an actual real biscuit that I molded to get this look. So, okay, so I'm just going to coat this entire biscuit. You want to make sure and coat the bottom as well. Right now I'm just coating the top, and then I'll come back. So even though I'm going to be like attaching it to the plate and having other things that will attach, I just like to do both sides, just in case your biscuit is like standing up, or not standing up, but I'll show you what I mean. Like on my strawberry biscuits, did I bring my water? Okay, good. All right. So like on my strawberry biscuits, I'll show you them again really quick, and I'll show you what I'm trying to say. So like on the strawberry biscuits, the way it's sitting like this, I just didn't want you to see like up under, like the underside of the biscuit and then it not be finished. So that's the reason that I say that. So there we go. Jan, can you share me in the group? I don't know if I can do that on my computer right now. And hi, by the way. Because Eileen, she shared me into the Heavenly Fake Bake Decor group. Oh, good. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to grab another. Do I need another glove right now? Yeah, I do. I'm a messy painter. Y'all know. I finally did my nails again in a pretty little purple. And then I was thinking it was chipping off, and it is now, but in the beginning I thought it was chipping and it wasn't. It was paint because I wasn't putting my gloves on. So anyway, so I'm going to switch places. I'm going to just bring this whole one over here. And then, okay, so once you paint them, like just let them dry. You could, like if you were in a hurry, you could use like a blow dryer or a heat gun. But I mean, honestly, especially if you make yours out of plaster of Paris, that plaster of Paris will just suck up that liquid. So it'll just like absorb all that liquid. So, okay, so with these, next we're going to do some shading. So we've got the base coat, and let me get a dry brush. Okay, and a paper towel. Here we go. I'll just take 2 of them. That'll work. Okay. And then for my, I already got it. Okay. So for the shading, for the shading, I'm using the Folk Art in the Gilded Oak, just to give it a little bit more of that brown shading. Okay. And then let me fold this in half. And then, so what you're going to do is I just pour a little bit of mine out, and then like I just squeeze a little bit on my paper towel, and then you want to make sure like your paintbrush is coated, and then you're just going to pull it back out of the brush. Okay. So actually I got it folded, but I'm going to open it so I can dry it off here. So the reason it's called dry brush is because you're loading up the brush and then you're taking it all back off. But what it does is it leaves a subtle subtle coloring to your whatever you're making. For particular one, this one is going to be the biscuits. Okay, so then I just come back in. I've got too much color still, and then I just go over the whole thing, and then in some spots I'll go a little bit darker. I washed this, so there was a lot of water still in it, so I think it picked up more of the color than I wanted. Okay. So I'm just going to go over the top. And then when you do the dry brush, what happens is the high spots, like your brush will hit the high spots. And because this is a biscuit, you kind of want to try to hit areas that you think, you know, would get darker while you're baking. So I typically will go like the edges. Okay. So there you go. It's starting. Oops, I forget. My camera used to be on this side of me, and now it's over on this side. Okay. So I'm going to set that down. And then the same, we're going to come back over it. I'm going to go over my top. And you could use, like, if you don't have this particular shade, you just want like more of like a medium brown to like a caramely color, because you just want it to look like, you know, that you baked this in the oven and it got brown. Okay, so I hit all the high spots, and then once I do that, then I just take my brush and I just really kind of like smush it down in there so that I get more shading. So it's not just like a single color. Like, I don't want it to look just like the base color and then a highlight color. I want it to look more multicolored. Does that make sense? And then I'm going to show you also how I get that look. So right now I'm just kind of going over the whole thing because I want it to look like a little golden biscuit. Okay. And then let me check this one. Okay. And then once I do that, I will take my finger. Oh, not in my water, but my hair's in the way. But I'll put it in my paintbrush water, and I'll just get a little bit of water, and then I'll come over it, and then I just smear it. And then what happens is it spreads it out in a really nice, even way. So can you see it? So instead of it looking like I painted it on, it lets it like blend really nicely. And because I'm doing water, it will dry, like it'll evaporate. So you don't have to worry about that. But just a tiny bit goes a long way. So you don't want too much. And if you do get too much, it's no big deal. Like if you feel like you need more of that base color for your biscuit, then you just come back in and you add more of that. If you feel like you need more on the top, like that darker shade, then you come in and do that. But I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to really rub it on here. I usually do it like right away when the paint is still wet. But what happens is it just gives it a really nice blended look to it so that it doesn't look... Okay, so I'll turn it this way and you can kind of see there's a little bit more of this dark shading, which is okay, but I just want it to be more blended. So when I do the water, it's like I still have those dark shades, but again, it just blends it. And I like the look. So, okay, so there's those two. Let me put that in the water. Okay, and then I'll move this. Actually, do I have two? Yeah, that's okay. We're going to move this one out of the way. Y'all let me know about my time too, because y'all know I'll start talking and then our time will be up. I think we're fine. We're doing good. Okay. Might even get done beforehand, which is not normal for me, but we'll see. Okay, so I've got my two biscuits, and then next, so these are still setting up. I'm going to check them. Okay, those are still setting up. But then I'm going to grab my plate. No, I'm not. I keep wanting to grab the plate. Okay, I'm going to move the biscuits and we're going to mix up the peach filling. Okay. All right, so for that, I'm going to grab my tray. Not my tray, my scale. Okay, let me take a drink first off. And let me see if y'all have any questions. I'll check the comments. Jan says, Frosted Flakes, hi there, love your name. Me too, isn't it cute? I love that. I think it's awesome. All right. So yeah. Yeah, you guys tell me where you're from again. I love knowing, like it's just fun to know. Okay, so with this, I'm going to use my caulking gun. I'm using clear, the DAP. You can use any brand as long as it's clear and as long as it's paintable. That's the only two things you want to look for. But again, this one, it doesn't have a strong odor. So that's one of the things I really like about it, is that it doesn't. Got some caulking on here. There we go. Okay, so I haven't opened this. This one's a brand new one. I did cut the tip off of it, but now I'm going to open it up. Okay, so when you first get these, let me scooch that down. When you first get them, you're going to cut the top off of it, and then it's still sealed. So on the caulking gun, it has like, I don't know the proper name, but it has a pokey thing. So you use that to poke down into your tube to open it. But what I was going to say is what I do is I don't just poke one hole. I just poke several. I find that if I just poke one hole, then what happens is it's really hard to like squeeze the trigger because you don't get as much stuff coming out of it. Like you get like a tiny stream instead of like a thicker stream. So just keep that in mind when you cut the end off the plastic tip. That doesn't determine the size of the flow. I mean, it does eventually, but you just need to make sure that when you poke a hole into the seal, like so that it can flow, that it can get through there. It just makes it easier for you, to be honest. Okay, so that looks good. And I'm gonna leave that, and I'm gonna wipe this off so that I can put it away. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just gonna push this back. Then we'll put this in here, and then I can zero it, and then let me grab a cup. So, okay, let me check my time really quick. Oh, 8:35. Okay. Oh, it sounds funny to see me at 8:35 because I usually go live at 7. But that's totally okay. This actually, we're on vacation this week. So actually it was really nice that I went live later. Like it worked out really well for us. Okay, so I'm going to put my cup. I'm going to zero this out. All right. And then we're going to start squeezing. Okay. I'm going to do 2 ounces. And then, whoops, my thing switched. There we go. So I'm going to do 2 ounces in this little cup. I'm just watching my scale. And then, almost. Okay, and then 2. All right. And then we'll release it. There we go. And I'm just going to set it over here so it's out of the way. Okay, and then let's move this. I've got my, I'm using gold and yellow and orange for my color. This is going to be a peach filling. And so, again, you can use any colors that you want. This is just the brand I'm using and then how many drops I'm using. So, okay, so for my gold, I'm doing 3. And then I'm going to do 2 for the yellow. I always tell everybody I get real quiet when I'm counting or measuring so I don't mess up. And then 1. Okay. And then I'm going to use a spoon to stir this up. If you do this, make sure you use something plastic, whether it's a spoon or a stir stick. Don't use like a popsicle stick, like because it's wooden. If it's wooden, because what happens is that the resin dye that you put in there, it will stick to your popsicle stick, and then you won't get all of that dye into the resin mixed up. Does that make sense? So I do have a, and I should have grabbed it. I see some dye up here. I'm going to scooch it down. Anyway, so I usually have like a plastic stir stick that came with my resin, and I'll use that. And then that way, it just makes sure I get all the color in there. Like for this, I'm going to use another spoon and squish it down in there because I can see the color, and I'll show you what I mean. Like some of the color is still on my spoon like that, and I don't want it on there. I want it in my solution here. Not solution, but you know. All right, I'm going to set that there for a second. So yeah, I like my other, it's like a plastic stir stick, but it works out nice because again, the color won't absorb into it. So I like that. All right. Okie dokie. All right, so I've got that. Now I can grab a plate. I keep trying to grab it before now. And then I've got my 2 biscuits. I'm going to situate them on where I want them. Okay, and then before I do that, let me grab, here, let me grab something really quick. Okay, I'm just going to grab tacky glue. This is going to secure it when we put the filling in the the peaches and stuff, it will secure it. But this just helps me using the Eileen's, the tacky glue. It just helps me like put something on it just to keep it in place until I get the filling. Let me squeeze this out here. Is this one empty? No. I'm like, I have others. What's happening? Okay, let me try another one. Hold on. That one said no. I'm not working. Okay, let's try this big one. All right. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to use it just to kind of position it on my plate and keep it where I want it. Okay. All right, that's better. I'll put this big one away. I mean the little one. We'll keep the big one and leave the little one out there. Okay, so I'm just going to position it on my tray. Here's the peach filling. I wanted to show it to you. It's really pretty. Turn it that way. Okay, so let me grab my peaches, and also I need that filling. Okay, so I'm going to do like 5 or 6 pieces. We'll see how many I think should be on there. There's no right or wrong reason. And like I said, I didn't put resin, so that's just kind of secure. Sorta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I want 5. Okay, I think I'm going to go with 5. If I want more, I'll grab more. All right. And then we're doing this little calendula. Is that how you say it? Calendula petals? I think that's how you say it, but I'm not sure. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I know I opened this. Oh, I taped it. I'm like, I know this was open. I've used it for something else. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, let me grab another cup. I'm going to put these in it, but they're longer, so let me scooch that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some and put in a cup, just a little bit. Like just take a little pinch out of there. And then, I don't know if that sealed it or not. Okay, and then I'm going to use, you could use scissors. I'm just using my fingers. I'm tearing them up into like smaller bits. These are really, because they're flower petals, they're really long. And I don't want them that long. I don't. I'm kind of small. So thank you so much. So it looks great. It looks yummy. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty. The peach color on this, on the plate, I think it'll look really cute. Okay, so the only thing that I might add later, I won't have time tonight, is I thought about a scoop of vanilla ice cream since I'm not doing the cream. Tell me in the comments what you think. If you think, well, you'll see it when I'll finish it as much as I can tonight, and then you tell me. I'll ask you again before I turn it over to Mary. I'll ask you again what you think. Okay, so I just want to get them because I'm going to add these to my mixture, but I'm going to thin it out with the rubbing alcohol first. So I just wanted to kind of pinch these and make them smaller. Again, you could use scissors if you wanted. That would probably work better, to be honest. Eileen says ice cream would be good. Don't you think? I think so too. Actually, let's use some scissors. I used my fingers. Oh, yeah. And then I'm going to just trim them. Not trim them, but I'm just using them, my scissors while it's in the cup because I want smaller bits because otherwise these are really long. Okay. Yeah, I like this better. All right, and the reason I'm using these is just to give the filling, the pie filling, a little bit more like texture because I'm not cutting up the pineapple. I'm not cutting up the peach pieces tonight for this. And then that way, because I didn't really want it to look like my peach jam. Like I didn't want to look like I put peach jam on it. Although I could have done the peach jam and then just like a pat of butter would have been cute too. But yeah, but I just saw these peaches and was like, I want to make something with those peaches. So anyway, okay. So now you can see it's, they're a lot smaller and it'll be a lot easier when I go to add them. So, okay. So I'm going to I'm going to put a little, well, actually, whoops, I need to put this in here. All right. And then I didn't really measure, and you all know I'm so much about that. But I just wanted to put enough to just kind of give it the look of something added to it. Okay. So I'm going to stir that in. So you'll see it kind of gets stirred in. It almost looks more like an orange marmalade now, but that's okay. Hey, Barb Miller, how are you? We have a Barb Miller and a Barb McNamara. I think that's how you say her name. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to get that all stirred in, just like that. Yeah, it looks more like an orange marmalade, but that's okay. Can you see it? Okay, and now I'm going to take my rubbing alcohol, and because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put some of the filling on the biscuit, and then I'm going to stick the peaches in it, and then some around it. So anyway, I'm just going to put a little bit of the rubbing alcohol in here. Put the lid on there, and then we'll stir that up. And then again, what it does is it thins it out, but it will evaporate. And it just makes it a little bit easier when you, like if you need it thinner. So you can see it changes the consistency. So now it's a little bit more drippy, I guess I want to say. I mean, it's still sticky tacky, but again, it's like once you do it, it will evaporate and then it will still cure the same, but it is already starting to evaporate. So I'm going to move, here, I'll use the peach. So I'm going to put it on here, and then I'm going to stick a peach in it. And I have no idea. They'll go however. Like, however they go, right? Okay, and I'm going to put some under the biscuit right here. Can you all see me? Okay, I changed my cameras. Let me try to go this way with you all. Can you see better, I hope? I hope. Okay. I'm just going to use this peach and then kind of put it around the biscuit. I'll put my peach in there. So I'm going to show you so far. Can you see? Okay. And then I'm going to put some in the front. So it looks like it's spilling off of the front of my biscuit. And then these peaches will just adhere. Like once this silicone cures, like the peaches will be stuck to the plate. Do you know what I mean? Like this is the glue. So you won't need any extra glue. Okay. Tell me what time it is. Let me see. Ooh, 8:47. Okay. Hang on. Okay. Yes, you could. Janae said, can you put peach pieces along with whole pieces instead of the flower petals? Yes, you absolutely can. Yep, you sure can. All right, now with this biscuit, let me see which way I want it to sit on here. You're like, what is she doing? Oh, she's got to check out her strawberry one to see which way it looks. Okay, cool. Y'all know me. I'm matchy, themey. So once I get this up for sale, you know it'll match your strawberry. So you can buy both. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here. So I'm putting the mixture on my biscuit, on this side of the biscuit, like that, so that I can attach it to the other biscuit. Okay, there you go. And then I've still got this little peach over here, so we've got some more things. There we go. I'm going to use this peach. I'm just using the peach to attach, like put it all together, make it all one. And then I need some more. All right. I'll just stick it in there. All right. Let me show you so far. Here's what we're looking like. I know, maybe it needs a scoop of ice cream, right? We'll see. Okay, so I got a little bit more, so I'm going to keep going. I've got my other spoon here. I'll bring it back out. And then let's just see. Oh, for sure. We need something over here, because that just looks like the biscuits in the air. We didn't want that. Okay. And then I'm just using the 2 pieces together. Not the 2 pieces, the 2 spoons. You know, like if you make cookies or homemade cookies, like you'll put like the cookie batter on 1 spoon, then you'll use the 2nd spoon to scoop it off. So that's what I'm doing with these spoons. Okay. There we go. All right. Let me just see. I'm going to lay that there. I don't like to waste anything. So let me just go back into my cup. And you can tell like how I added that, the rubbing alcohol, like it's already thickened back up. Like what's left in my cup is already thick again. So if you do that, like if you ever thin your silicone out, just know, like, thin it out and use it right away. Otherwise it's not gonna, it'll just thicken back up on you. Okay. All right. Before I add the last piece, let me look at it. I don't know where to go. Maybe it needs some on the top of the peach. How about that? So it doesn't just look like the peaches. Yeah, that looks better. I think the peaches needed a little bit more stuff on them. And then that way they look like they were in the filling, right? I know that's what I did with my strawberries. So we're going to do that with the peaches, and then I'll show it to you. Yeah, I'm going to coat all the peaches. I'll show you. All right. How am I doing on time? Can somebody give me a time check? I don't want to cut into Mary's time. Am I good still? Eileen said, could you thin it again a 2nd time? Possibly. I'm not sure. I've never done it more than once. I usually just do it the 1 time. And then that way I just know like it is going to set up. I don't know if I thinned it out again, if it would still cure the same. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Okay. I'm just using it up off my spoon. And the silicone, you'll see, like it'll start getting tacky on you, like, and you can tell, uh-oh, it's already curing. So, okay. So I think that's it. Let me move these over to here. Oh, I have 9 minutes. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Hi. I just didn't want to go over. Okay, good, good, good. All right, so here it is so far. You'll see how I smeared the that filling on top of the peaches, so they just didn't look like they were, I didn't want them to just look like plastic peaches, right? We want this to look realistic. So, so yeah, and then when it dries, it will dry, or when it cures, I should say, it will, like the peach pieces, they'll still be shiny like that. Like it'll dry shiny on them. So, but anyway, here's our little, I think it looks cute on the little, on the, I keep wanting to say Magnolia, on the Pioneer Woman tray, or plate. I think it looks cute, right? Okay. So the only other thing that I'm planning on doing, and it might be a little tricky because my stuff is wet. Let me pull these off and move these over out of the way. So the other thing I was planning on, let me scooch that, is, again, I brought in my sand, cinnamon sand nut mixture. So I was wanting to do like a little sprinkle of this on there, just because I felt like it would look maybe not so much a peach cobbler. That's what I'm thinking. What do you all think? You think I should sprinkle some of this on here? Or do you think it should have a scoop of ice cream like on the top of the biscuit and the peaches? Tell me what you think in the comments. A smidge. A smidge of cinnamon. Oh, yes. Okay, maybe that would be even better, right? Okay, let's do that. Yeah, I like that idea. Okay, so I'm going to wait on that. And then I'm going to fold this in half. Actually, let's remove it. I got sticky stuff on it. I'm going to grab my cinnamon, just the plain cinnamon. Hang on. Let me grab it. Okay. Yeah, I like the cinnamon on the top. I think I'm going to do it on the biscuit too. Barb says both. Both what? Both? Both ice cream, both cinnamon, or both with the nut mixture? Okay, I'm going to grab the Mod Podge and then you all answer me. Y'all let me know. Let me grab a little cup. So tell me what you think. So Barb, tell me both. What did you mean both? I'm going to put a little bit in here. And this is the Mod Podge in the mat. Whoopsie. Ah, wait a minute. What happened? Here we are. Almost lost us. Okay, there we go. All right, it's 5 minutes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, let me grab a paintbrush. Okay, so I do seal mine with Mod Podge, and this is just the plain. Not the plain. It's the matte Mod Podge. So I'm going to coat my biscuit really good because I did not do that. And then I'm going to add a little sprinkle of the cinnamon. Cinnamon now, your topping sprinkled on top of the biscuit. Yes. And Barb says, nuts, why not? Okay, I'll do that. So I'll make this extra thick. And then I'll put a little cinnamon on just the peach part of it, right? I think that's what y'all said. Okay, so don't let me go over. I don't want to mess up Mary. Okay, I'm going to put it really thick here. And then I'm going to use my fingers for the cinnamon because I tend to, that way I can do a smidge. If I pour it, it's going to go everywhere. Okay, so we're going to do that. Let's move that over to there. Okay, so the cinnamon, I'm going to, let me do a paper plate. Okay. This is just ground cinnamon. I'm going to spill it, so I'm going to do that. Okay. Okay, I'm going to sprinkle, oh, thank you. I love it with the cinnamon. I will show you. And the cinnamon, the silicone is still wet enough. It will stick and it adhere. So I will show you. Oh, I love it. Just a pinch, right? Just a smidge. All right, let me do one more and then I'll show you. And it smells good. You all know how much I love cinnamon. So look, now I just did the little sprinkling, little smidge of the cinnamon. And then on top of my biscuit, which luckily it's probably not going to fall that way. Oh, extra thick Mod Podge. I don't know, but you know I'm going to look into that now. Okay, so again, this one is sand, cinnamon. Let me look at my lid. It's sand, cinnamon, and then caramel nut instant coffee. And then the fake nuts. Sorry, I don't know if I said that. Okay, so I'm going to grab. Oh, wait, where'd my plate go? Here it is. I'm going to put it on here, but I want to dump it off as I go. Okay. All right. I'm going to let it dry, and then once it's cured, then I can, there we go. Then once it's cured, I can shake off the extra. Because right now it's like it's on the plate, but it won't be like once it cures. So yeah, I haven't heard of extra thick, but now I'm going to look into it. So, okay. So I'm going to leave this on here. When this dries, because there's a coffee mixture in it, because I did the instant coffee mixture in it, once it dries, I'm going to come back on it and then do Mod Podge. And then what happens is that that coffee mixture, the instant coffee, when it mixes with your Mod Podge, it gets like a very ooey gooey cinnamon look to it. So I will come in and I will do that. Okay, but like I said, it's a little messy on the plate, but once it dries, then I can shake it off. So there you go. My little feeling peachy little peach biscuit. And like I said, I don't have any whipped cream or anything on it. But I'm thinking I may come back in. I don't know. I don't know. I want to make sure that it's still, you can tell it's a biscuit. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I put a big plop of ice cream, would you still be able to tell? I don't know. So anyway, I will show you. I will come back in once this is totally dry, like once it cures, and then I'll just do Mod Podge over the top of the biscuit, and then you'll see it'll get like this cinnamon ooey gooey look to it. So I love that. So, oh, let me put that in the water. Okay. I think my time is almost up. It's 9 o'clock right now, so I'm going to hop off of here. Thank you all so very much for spending your evening with me and with Eileen. And then Mary from Hogwall Designs is coming up next, so I am going to get off of here so that we can put her into the group. But thank you all so much for watching, and I appreciate all your support. And I will see you again next Thursday. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. Bye.